anyone's success. There are people that whether I agree with how people do things or not, I'm not going to ever be jealous of someone's success. I might look at it and say, oh, I don't think that person's going about it the right way. I might look at it and say, I think that person is taking a shortcut. I think that person, and this isn't referring to TJ Marconi, this is just referring to people in general. I think people, not everyone attains success the same way. Not everyone leaves it in the ring. You know, some people go out, some people, their real work is behind the scene. And to me, okay, great. You have to, you know, it's part of the business, but to me, you have to deliver in the ring. You have to make people talk about your ring work. You have to make people talk about your microphone skills. You have to have people talk about that more than anything else. You know, I'm happy for him. You know, because he wrestles. TJ wrestles for SWF. Him and I don't really wrestle in too many of the same places. So where I'm at, I'm shining. You know, whether it's Tier 1 Wrestling as the champion, whether it's Warriors of Wrestling, you know, whether it's Battle Club Pro, which had a remarkable show that just happened on the 21st that people are still talking about, myself and Jordan Grace for the Tier 1 title.
Yes.
You know, I'm wrestling here. I'm wrestling in those places, and people are talking about me and my career. I'm wrestling almost every weekend, at least once. So, and in places that are drawing. So I'm doing well for myself. I'm doing better for myself than I ever have. And TJ is doing pretty well for himself too, because he's SWF. He got himself. You know, SWF has taken him to Florida, and because he's the champ. TJ is also wrestling. I don't think he's at Ace anymore, but TJ is filling his schedule. You know, Excite Wrestling. TJ keeps his schedule filled. I'm too busy focusing on filling my schedule and doing some things for myself than to be jealous of somebody else, much less somebody that I came into the business with, somebody that is in my stable and genuinely like is a part of my heart. You know, TJ. We're not always going to agree, and we don't go about things the same way, which I think is the controversy between us, because I go about things differently than he does.
Right.
But you know, we're both getting paid, and and I'm being talked about. So what am I worried about? I got some great things coming up between Tier 1 in the summer, and you know, maybe WrestleMania weekend, wink, wink, which I've been keeping quiet. I mean, there's some things that there's some things that are coming up. So I'm happy, you know.
All right. I mean, that's the main focus. If you're not happy doing what you're doing, you probably wouldn't be doing it.
Right. If you're not doing well, then why? If I felt like I was failing, I wouldn't do it. If I was wrestling once, twice a month, then I'm not doing my job.
Right.
But listen, I'm getting to wrestle 6-7 times a month at least. Listen, I'm in places again that are doing well. I'm doing well, and people want to take that away from you. People always jump to take something away. You know, let's take this away from Darius. Let's make Darius a jealous guy. Let's make Darius a bitter guy. Why? If I'm not worth your time, then why are you spending so much of yours focused on me?
I agree.
That's what I'm getting. I got a lot of people looking at me and giving me looks, but why are you even looking at me? Why don't you just focus on your path and going to the next level for you? Why are you focused on me? If I'm not so good, if I'm not so important, then why are you paying attention to me? So, you know, let's see if that guy asks TJ if TJ is jealous of Darius' success. You know what I mean?
Guess we're gonna have to find out. We're gonna have to get TJ Marconi on the show.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, well, you know, that's all I'm saying is people, you know, people want to take something, you know, they ain't taking it from me.
All right, so people can reach out to Darius Carter on Facebook and Twitter. Facebook.com/Mr. Darius Carter, and on Twitter @Mr. Darius Carter. Are you on Instagram as well?
I am not. Instagram's a little much.
A little much. Okay.
Instagram, I don't need to take pictures and show you people what I look like. They know what I look like. Give me a break. You want to? You know, I don't know. Maybe you have to when you're all touring all over the world doing the TV. Maybe, I don't know. right now, it's not for me. Neither is Snapchat. All that stuff.
No, I don't.
I hate Snapchat. Snapchat is like glorified smut. I think Twitter and 2 Facebook pages are enough. I think Facebook.com/Mr. Darius Carter, Twitter.com/Mr. Darius Carter, and Facebook.com/Wrestling's Richest Prize is enough. And thank you, thank you, Indie Power Rankings, for electing me, for me being number 1 for the week of the 20th, and People's Champ, only the 3rd this year. So I'm making history everywhere. Listen, I'm Indie Power Ranking number 1. Let's talk about that. People always ask the wrong questions. How does it feel to be Indie Power Ranking number 1? That'd be a nice question.
How does it feel?
It feels fantastic. That's a big deal. They have 13 million followers. That's or 13,000, however many it is. Either way, it's a lot of people.
Right. And
to be number 1, to have them advertising me, that put the people like Ricochet, people like Delilah Doom. These are incredible independent talents that I was ranked among, and internet voters chose me for number 1 and for People's Champ. So I did something right. Period. That's it.
Not to mention, you were the 2016 Dammy Award winner for Male Independent Superstar of the Year.
Thank you. Against the running of Joey Janela and some other guy, Kyle the Beast was in there, and some other guys. I was in there with some pretty talked about competition. I appreciate every single award. I marked every single one of them down. I have a list for each one. I'm grateful. It's the most prestigious award that you offer, as far as I know. So I am very grateful for that. And I got to be 2017 champ male of the year. I mean, I worked very hard last year.
It's gonna be hard to do what you put together last year. I mean, we talked about it earlier. I mean, you put together a very impressive win-loss record, which usually in wrestling doesn't matter, but still, when you got a lot of zeros on the right side of the dash mark, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and isn't that sad? Wins and losses don't matter so much to people anymore. To me, that's everything. Winning means you're on the right track. Winning means, above all else, that your career is moving. If your circles are not spinning, if you're winning all your matches,
right.
And that's what it is. I went from No Limits champion to Tier 1 champion. That's a big jump. And now I'm destined to become Warriors of Wrestling champion. I'm about to do what Rude Boy did, but better. I'm about to hold both the Tier 1 and the Warriors of Wrestling championships at the same time. Whose year will it be then?
I know. And then you could have somebody in your collective that could wind up being female Indie of the Year for this year if she goes out and wins the Women of Warriors tournament, becomes the first women's champion.
Right. The Clockwork Angel Katrin, who's been improving vastly. And that's not to say she wasn't good in the beginning, but she's gotten listen, this woman is putting in work. She's putting in some technical wrestling work, and I'm very happy for Katrin. And let's get her that belt. Let's get Nasir and Just Nef the tag team championships. And then let's get me that world championship, and the Hostile Collective will all have gold.
Then you'll really be collecting.
They will really be collecting. I mean, we were the collective before because I was No Limits champion while they were tag champions.
Right.
So we had 2/3 of the championships in the promotion. So, we had that. We always had gold. The only time we didn't have gold in the camp was as of December when the No Limits title was taken from me. So we've only ever had 2 months without there being a title in the Hostile Collective.
Yeah, and you try to change that in a major way this Saturday. Fun Station USA Warriors of Wrestling, as you'll be taking on the champ Jason Karloff. That is March 4th. Go to warriorsofwrestling.com, like I said, for tickets, because it's going to be a packed house. It's going to be a packed card. And Darius, I really appreciate you giving us your time. I know you're a busy guy taking care of Carter Enterprises. And,
the beautiful. That's a good business, man.
But I really appreciate it, and I wish you luck for Saturday. We'll be there, obviously with the talent we're bringing, and we'll be obviously all eyes on your match.
All eyes on Wrestling's Richest Prize.
That's right.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm glad I was able to finally get this done, because I know we've wanted to do this for a while. So Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it, Darius. Take care.
All right. Be well.
You too. That was Darius Carter, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, currently the Tier 1 World Heavyweight Champion, former 2-time Warriors of Wrestling No Limits Champion, going after the World Heavyweight title for Warriors of Wrestling this March 4th against Jason Karloff. It should be pretty interesting. Very interesting. Karloff's an animal, and Darius Carter, who he's a guy who plays some mind games in the ring, gets you off your game, and then jumps at the opportunity, takes advantage of the opportunity. Yeah, so that was a pretty damn good interview.
It was.
Yeah,
he was a good speaker.
Good job by our fans reaching out through our Facebook page, our Damage page, my personal page, and our Twitter account with some questions. Especially that crazy Joe from Brick, New Jersey.
Yeah, I think that's the most questions we've ever had for a guest.
Yeah. Usually I get them in advance and I write them down, or I just store them in this big blockhead I have. But I always like to announce the person's name, where they're from, and all that fun stuff. We have a request for for us to give them a call.
Oh, God.
Yeah, you know who that is. So, all right, let's take a quick commercial break. When we come back, RDP, Richie DeCrack,
in the bathroom,
will be joining us as we hit the 87-minute mark. So, we'll be right back.
The following announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
This is the hardcore icon, Just Incredible, and you're listening to Damage 365 Radio. Now that's not just the coolest, that's not just the best. Damage 365 Radio, now that's just incredible.
Wrestling Superstore, selling wrestling memorabilia from all around the world, including WWE, TNA, Japan, Mexico, and the very best of the independents. They've got action figures, DVDs, autographed memorabilia, t-shirts, and more. Plus, stop in and get tickets for great promotions like UWA Elite, CZW, and many others. Located indoors at the world-famous English Town Flea Market, Green Building, booth number 35 on 90 Wilson Avenue, Manalapan Township, New Jersey. Open every Saturday and Sunday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Log on to Facebook.com/Funkenstein Inc. for more information.
Join Brandon Lewis and Christopher Scythe Bracey every Tuesday night on YouTube.com/2KW at 8:30 p.m. as they bring you the matches and moments that make 2KW Pro the heart of New York City. 2KW Pro, your company, your wrestling.
This is Jim the Anvil Neidhart, and you're listening to Damaged Radio 365. Yeah, baby!
The following announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
This is the last pure athlete, Jordan Grace, and you're listening to Damage 365 Radio.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, and we're joined with Richie DeGreg of RDP Promotions. Rich, welcome back. Coach Kev, JT here in studio.
Good evening. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
How are you?
Richie.
So,
yes. How are you, John?
That's
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Did you miss me? Because I missed you.
Tons.
Oh, boy.
What do you want?
The romance. All right. So we got March 4th coming up. Obviously, big event, that craziness. But Warriors of Wrestling that night, you'll have WWE Hall of Famer Ron Simmons, and I will have his former partner from his WCW days,